You're watching Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. It's time to hand out some grades in the Bears' 17-13 win over the New York Giants. It wasn't pretty, but the Bears were able to get it done as they improved to 2-0 on the 2020 NFL season. Bears 17, Giants 13. That note right there is a bit of a red flag. 0 second half points for Chicago. They led this game 17-0, and despite Saquon Barkley leaving this game with a knee injury, it looks like it's an ACL tear, by the way, which is not great news for him and the Giants. The Giants were still able to come back. Luckily, the Bears won, but 17-13 win, and we are reacting to it on today's show. So what is your one-word reaction to the Bears' Week 2 win over the New York Giants? Let me know. For me, I'm going to say survive. Survive, baby. Survive in advance if you want to type a couple of words. You're 2-0. Victories count all the same. It doesn't matter if you win by 50 or 1 point. It all counts the same. I'm going to say survive. Someone says painful. Matthew says gesture. Keep those coming in. Don't really know what you meant there. One-word reaction to the Bears' Week 2 win over the Giants. So let's get into the grades here. Let's start with the offense and Matt Nagy and his play calling. I'm going to go C-. The first half was great. Trubisky was getting going, some play action, 17 first half points. That was great, but overall, you stack it up. The second half didn't do much of anything, just over 300 yards against a bad Giants team, passing yards. The running game got going in the fourth quarter. I was pleased to see that. We're going to grade the offensive line later. That they struggled at times. Third down's good overall, but they were 9 for 12 at one point, I believe, so 0 for 4 after that. Did have those 2 Mitch Trubisky interceptions. Overall, I'm going to give it a C-. This Giants team isn't very good, and you only mustered up 17 points. Go to the defense now and Chuck Pagano's group. How about a B overall? And you're probably saying, the defense balled out. Yeah, it was pretty good, but you gave up 13 second half points, which is an average of 26 for a four-quarter game. That's with Sterling Shepard going out. That's with Saquon Barkley going out. You gave up less than 300 yards, which was good, but you let the Giants hang around. They converted some key fourth downs on that final drive and almost stole this game from you. So a good game from the defense, better than last week, but I'm just going to give it a B overall. I did like the 2 takeaways, and the pass rush, much better this week. Special teams, I'm also going to go B here. It was going to be an A an A- or so until Cairo Santos missed that 50-yarder. I know it's a 50-yarder, but you need those to kind of put a game away. Now, it wouldn't have been completely over as it would have been a one-score game, but had the Giants gone down and scored, you would have lost instead of potentially going to overtime. You need those key kicks if you are the Bears. I thought Pat O'Donnell was good in the punting game, averaged over 50 yards a punt. So I'm going to give the special teams a B for the Bears in this win over the Giants. Before we get into some players here, some position groups, subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. Hit that big red button. We got over 150 of you guys watching our coverage live right now. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. We have videos going up almost every single day. We're going live after almost every single Bears game. Give us a subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Let's get to 12,000 subs as soon as possible. We crossed 11,500 very, very recently. Go to Mitchell Trubisky here. First half, he picked it up where he left it off, but the second half wasn't good. I'm going to go C overall in this one for Mitch. I just did not like the second half. I didn't love the play calling from Matt Nagy, but overall, 18 of 28, $190, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In the first half, he was 13 of 18 for, I believe, 158 and 2 touchdowns. Second half, only threw for like 30-something yards and 2 picks. Tale of 2 halves for Trubisky. First half, A-. Second half, D or an F. It wasn't great, so I'm going to give it an average C overall. Wasn't horrendous. Both picks weren't his fault, especially the second one. Allen Robinson probably should have at least been able to force an incompletion there. He had his hand on it first, but doesn't matter how you do it. 2 picks and less than 200 yards, got to give it a C for Mitchell Trubisky. Do you believe in Mitchell Trubisky? Type Y for yes, type 2 for no. When he's been good so far this year, he's looked like a top 5 NFL quarterback. But when he's bad, it's bad Trubisky. And we saw some of that in the second half. He forced some balls into traffic. Got lucky on that one fourth down play where Bobby Massey catches it off the deflection. Let me know. I'm seeing a lot of Ys come in. Overall, I'd say more positive than negative through 2 games for Mitch, but it's about finding that consistency. Hopefully he can do that moving forward. Go to the running game here, and specifically David Montgomery. Through 3 quarters, pretty quiet, but overall, going to give it a B. He had some big runs late, was able to chew some clock and make it where the Giants were only going to have one drive to try and go down and tie the game. Ran for 82 yards. Also caught a couple of passes, had a receiving touchdown as well to start the game. That sweet little rollout pass that Trubisky threw to him, which was a sweet play from Mitch as well. That's the Trubisky I want when he's out on the edge making plays with his feet. But David Montgomery, good to go. By the way, I mentioned he's okay in the title. Did leave, or in the headline there, did leave briefly with that injury. Came back, had a pretty solid game overall. 82 yards, a lot of that chunk coming on that final drive for the Bears to eat up some clock. Anthony Miller. Oh, Anthony Miller. You were great last week. You were the hero last week. Got to give you an F this week. Trubisky's grade would be a lot better had Anthony Miller caught that touchdown pass and had he caught that key third down early in the second half. The Bears had a chance to go up 14-0 in the first 6 minutes. Trubisky drops a dime on a wheel route, and Anthony Miller flats out drops it. If you're going to be a number 2 receiver on this offense, you got to come up with those. That I was disappointed to see that from Miller. 3 targets today, 0 catches. That's not getting it done for your number 2 receiver. I got to give him an F from what I saw today. We got Bears face coverings, and this one specifically, this is the one that a lot of the players and coaches are wearing for the Chicago Bears. It's the high-quality material as well. It's going to last you longer, and it's going to protect you from other people as well when you're out in public and those sort of things. Chatsports.com/Chicago mask. I'll put that link in the comments. It'll be in the description. Chatsports.com/Chicago mask. It's a brand new face covering we're offering here. High quality, going to last you a very, very long time. So take advantage and pick one up today. Let's go to the offensive line here. D+. Not great. 4 sacks for Trubisky. The running game opened up a little bit late in the fourth quarter, but through 3 quarters, you were averaging under 4 yards a carry. Much better last week than they were this week. Now, it wasn't just atrocious. On at least one of the sacks, Trubisky held the ball too long, but on 3 of those, they just gave up too much pressure. I mean, you gotta be better on the offensive line, and we knew coming into this season this O-line had question marks. Now, through 2 games, it's certainly been better than it was last year, but got to give it a D+. I thought they took a step back in this win over the New York Giants. So we'll get to a couple of defensive players here in just a moment, but first, grade the offense for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. Give me a grade for the offense. I gave it a C-, I believe is what I gave it. We're doing so many grades, I don't even remember what I did. C- from me on the offense, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's go to the pass rush specifically. I couldn't pick one guy because 4 different players had sacks. Got to give it an A. I thought it was critical. Got some pressure on that last play as well. Pass rush was good today. Robert Quinn returned. Didn't play a ton of snaps, but had a sack early in this one. Khalil Mack had a sack for the Chicago Bears. So did Akeem Hicks. Barkevious Mingo gave you a sack. Lots of different guys getting after Daniel Jones. And hey, yeah, that's a bad Giants O-line, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take advantage. It was good to see Robert Quinn return. Just had the 1 sack in this game, but limited snap count overall. Thought he played pretty well for the Chicago Bears. I love what I saw from this pass rush in this game. If you're excited about Robert Quinn being back, like this video. We got 77 likes on our live video. If you're watching this on a later date, give us a like on this show as well. If you're pumped up about Khalil Mack's sidekick being back, like this video. It really, really helps us out. All right, let's grade Kyle Fuller here. I debated between Jackson and Fuller. I'm going to go with Fuller. B+. Thought he was pretty good overall. Gave up a couple of completions in the second half, but had 2 pass breakups, had 5 tackles. Eddie Jackson was solid in this one too. Had that flag not been thrown on that pick 6, I probably would have graded Eddie Jackson, but he got there just a little bit early. It was a bang-bang play. I thought the officials actually made the right call. Fuller was good overall, though. I thought he played better this week than he did last week, so I think overall he played a pretty solid game. B+ from Kyle Fuller. Grade the defense A, B, C, D, or F. Go ahead and let me know. I thought this defense was much better today. That's why I gave it a good grade. Let me know what you guys have for the defense today. A, B, C, D, or F. And that kind of wraps it up. Look, Bad second half, 17-13, the final score here. The Bears find a way to get it done. They beat the Giants 17-13. Mixture of grades, right? Anthony Miller, got to be better. Trubisky, got to find consistency. Can the tight ends get more involved? Allen Robinson needs to show up and be that true number one type of receiver. But 17-13, those are my grades. Bears improved to 2-0.